I'm pretty late to talk about my favorite Beyblade from Beyblade Burst BU. I got it pretty late, and by the time I did get it, I was kind of lazy to make a video about it. But after looking back at all of the BU releases so far and upcoming, I can now say that Xiphoid Excalibur is my favorite BU Bay so far. Helios and Hyperion may take that crown, but for now, it belongs to the legend of Excalibur. One of the things that makes this release so awesome has to be the brand new sword launcher. It's been a while since we've had a new one of these sword launchers release. In fact, it's been a while since we've had an Excalibur release, which is why I talked about it in my top 5 Beyblades Takara Tomy forgot about, which I need to make an update on. But this sword launcher, I think objectively, is the best one they have ever released. Some of the things that I think are so great about it is that you have left and right spin already baked into the launcher. It's not a right spin only, which is super nice. And the way you swap from left to right spin is easier than the DB launchers, because all you have to do is just put the ripcord in a different slot. It fits super well in the hand too. I love this thing. I'm probably gonna buy a couple of them just in case this one breaks. So now let's move on to Xiphoid Excalibur. Apparently this thing has been pretty solid in the meta, although I have not really been keeping up to date with the meta. Is it good? I hope it's good. I like the bay. Is it good? Let's look at the driver first. This is probably the most disappointing part of the entire release to most people, and it is Sword Dash. This is the same driver that came on Buster Excalibur, which wasn't really my favorite. It's cool that we're getting a Dash version of Sword. It has a decent chunk of metal and a cool design, but in my opinion, it's probably one of the least well-performing Excalibur drivers. I mean, it would have been cooler to get a new version of Extreme, maybe like Giga Extreme, which is wider. That would have been really cool. Sword is just kind of thrown in there. Next up, we have the disc. This is Xanthus, a pretty interesting name. I don't know how viable this disc is. It's pretty jagged, has a lot of plastic on it for sure. It's pretty wide. I like the design more than I like anything else about this disc, how it has like a little bit of a sword tip popping out. I think that's pretty cool. And what's interesting is that the disc, at least the metal part, is very similar to Moon that came out later with Wind Knight. The only difference between the two is like the plastic piece around the metal. So they kind of just copied the homework a little bit. And finally, let's move on to Xiphoid Excalibur. This has got to be my favorite layer combo in all of Beyblade Burst BU. I love what they did here. Starting with the BU blade, we have Xiphoid, and this thing is super cool. It's super thick, it's super chonky, it hits pretty decently hard, and everything that they did to combine old Excaliburs together to make Xiphoid, I think just looks really cool. Then we have the Excalibur core, which just immediately screams Xeno Excalibur with the cross blades. I really like it a lot, and it also has this gimmick where a metal sword is able to pop out through the bottom, kind of creating a bit of a burst lock, changing up some of the weight distribution a little bit. It fits. Even if that feature doesn't help the performance of the bay, it just fits Excalibur really well. And we're not going to forget about the armor. We have one, and it's super simple, super clean. It just kind of has this little detail that continues the sword idea of the bay. But I do believe that Xiphoid Excalibur is the only BU/DB bay that looks really good in high mode. For the most part, I always use these bays in their low mode. I think that's what makes the most sense, and it just looks the best. But something about this bay, just high mode looks right. It kind of looks like how it was supposed to be. Except for the fact that the sword doesn't pop out all the way if you have it in high mode, which is kind of lame. In summary, I love the way they designed this bay. Every piece of old Excalibur is in here, and it's just a really nice way to wrap up the Excalibur line. So it's sad to say, but at least we got another Excalibur before the series finished. The launcher is fantastic too. I love this thing. I like it just as much as I like the bay itself, and I'm probably going to be using this in battles upcoming whenever I actually do battle videos. If you want this Bay, it is available on Mall of Toys, so go and check it out there. I have a link in the description down below, or you could use code 1linnuc to get 10% off of your first purchase. But either way, I hope you enjoyed this video. Hit that like button, hit subscribe to join the Nuc Nation. That would be amazing. More videos upcoming, I hope. And I will see you guys in the next one. Have fun and bay away.